Mugging is something that happens to all of us at some point in our life, but have you ever wondered how the black belt handles a situation like these? They can be pretty devastating, right? But are there any martial arts in which you can learn to survive such situations? As a matter of fact, there are some. Welcome! And today we'll be going through best martial arts for mugging, which you can use to get away. So without wasting much more time, let's get started. Building a setup. Just to get everything precise and accurate, let's make up a scene. It's the middle of the day and you're walking a lonely street. That's when two muggers riding a bike stop you and ask you to give them your belongings. One has a weapon in his hands while the other's riding the getaway bike. Now, weapon in his hands could possibly be a gun or a knife. We know that both of them are deadly weapons, so how to get away from them? That's the main question. So up next, we'll discuss the best of all defense martial arts, and that's Krav Maga. Believe it or not, Krav Maga is the best martial art only focused around self-defense. While we're only aiming to get defensive and run away from the situation, you're not thinking of kicking everyone's butt and showing them how they mess with the wrong person. Sorry, this is not a movie but a real-life scenario. So let's be realistic. With that said, let's dive into Krav Maga's brief history and know a little about its foundation. Interesting facts about Krav Maga. Krav Maga is a military martial art used by Israel's military, so no way this martial art is a slouch. Like I said, it's a self-defense art to hand the dangerous circumstances like knives and guns pointed at you. Another great thing is that Krav Maga is the conflict avoidance, and that's what we'll be mostly using against muggers. It was developed by Emmerich Lichtenfeld to protect against fascists and racists. I think that was enough of historical background and facts. Now let's move on to the real deal, and that's how to use Krav Maga. Apart from all the self-defense techniques you'll be learning, the Krav Maga knife defense is what we'll be using to survive. Even though it's considered highly practical martial art, you still won't survive for long. So the thing you'll be looking for is a way out. Run as fast as you can and leave them far behind. For some reason, if they catch up to you and you have nowhere to go, only then can you fight them, but for a short while, and then run away. But given the following circumstances, let's go into the detail guide of how to survive. The first crucial thing to do is understanding the mugger. If the mugger seems like a thug, then he'll probably want to hurt you. So try to be extremely careful with him, and try not to bother with him. But if the mugger doesn't seem like a high-class thug, then you'll have a better chance of handling him. But hey, no matter what the case is, always be careful. The second thing is their movement. If they're coming close to you, then hit them in the face and run away as soon as you get the chance. On the third, if they're chasing you but you're faster than them, don't even think about confronting them, just keep running. But if they're coming close to you and you can't outrun them, the best thing to do is hitting them in the torso while keep moving on. What martial arts or techniques to avoid? The martial arts you should avoid are the ones with the sport element. These are the martial arts used for sports. But why should you avoid them considering how much effective they can get? The answer to this is restriction. The martial arts with the sport element come with restrictions. You can't hit your opponent in lethal places like the throat or poke their eyes. These types of things are banned in sports. But when you're fighting against muggers, would you care about these restrictions? So the conclusion is to avoid martial arts like these. I'm not saying these martial arts will be completely useless, but they're not completely useful. So what are the martial arts with sport elements? Some of them are boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, judo, wrestling, etc. But hey, what martial arts are best suited for self-defense besides Krav Maga? Depending on your region and schooling fees, if you can't access Krav Maga, then you can also go for the following martial arts which are taught to militants. The first one we have is Sambo. Sambo is the Russian-born martial art focused on the modern way of fighting. The term Sambo means fighting without weapons. And since it's a modern martial art, that makes it even more effective. By modern, I mean the newer types of weapons, like guns and knives. So that makes Sambo perfect against muggers. Sambo also centers around joint locks, chokes, and throws, etc. Lurdrit. Lurdrit is the fighting style which is used by the Royal Thai Army. The systems Lurdrit centers around are the opponent weak points to decapitate the opponents only using the human body. And like always, it's also a close combat martial art. So if you're in a location where Sambo and Krav Maga aren't available, then Lurdrit is your art to go with. The last one we have is Kali. Kali is the most recognizable and popular martial art out there. The reason is that it's taught to the police forces and militants from all over the world. It's mostly centered around knife and stick fighting. This fighting style doesn't kill your enemy, but decapitates them properly with its aggressive fighting style. Since it's the most popular martial art, that makes it more accessible, so if you can't reach out to the previously mentioned martial arts, then you can go for Kali. But hey, how to use these new martial arts against muggers? Well, the way of surviving muggers is the same as discussed in the Krav Maga section, which is running away while fighting. Should you be fighting muggers? This is the main question, and the answer to this is no, you should not be fighting them. If it's life and death situation, then you can use martial arts like Krav Maga to survive, but if it's not, just don't bother with it to save your skin. Even if you'll use martial arts to fight them off, they're not the only ones who will get hurt. There is a 100% chance that you'll also get hurt. If it's a gun, maybe the chances are low, but if it's a knife, the situation becomes more dangerous. They can cut you or slice you open with the knife, or even if you're trying to get the knife from them, you might cut yourself accidentally. But we shouldn't forget that the gun will be the most fatal if you accidentally get shot while trying to escape or breaking his grip. So, like I said, don't fight them and give them what they want from you, which will be your damn phone and your wallet. Ask yourself, are my belongings worth my life? But hey, don't get sad. You can always play smart. If you're from a place where mugging is common, then you can carry around dummy items which are inexpensive as compared to the costly things you'll be carrying. If they're pointing a gun or knife at you with the getaway vehicle, there's a high chance they won't investigate you completely. So just keep inexpensive items and a cheap phone on the exterior. I'd like to thank the Quora community for providing great information, and I'm sorry to say, guys, but you've reached the end of our video. Now, don't forget to mention your thoughts about this topic in the comments section. If you admired our video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel for more combat and sporty videos. We'll see you in the next one.